Hey guys, and welcome back to the randomized K-On! Pokemon Team series. Next up is our cutie pie, Uwe. Uwe's first Pokemon will be Macargo. That's kind of a disappointing start. I know full well that MJTV is not a big fan of Macargo, mostly because of one of his challenge runs. And I'm not entirely sure about this Pokemon's popularity, but I'm assuming it's not exactly stellar. Its speed is atrocious, not surprising though given that it's a snail. But its defense is really good, and its special stats are very acceptable. For level up moves, it gets some pretty good attacks, especially Flamethrower 2 levels before it evolves from Slugma. For TMs, there's nothing to talk about. So not a useless Pokemon, but its lack of speed will definitely cause it a few problems. Uwe's second Pokemon will be Wobba Fett. Now that's definitely a Pokemon no sane person ever wants to get. Wobba Fett is completely identical from Gens 2 to 7, with the only real difference being whether it gets Shadow Tag or Telepathy as its ability. As such, I have very little to say about this thing. Its HP is bonkers, but everything else is either awful or mediocre given that its entire battle strategy is counter-attacking. Its moveset stays exactly the same until Gen 8. The only real thing you could do with it is use Shadow Tag to your advantage in a double battle, but even that's stretching a bit. This Pokemon is no doubt known for its antics with Team Rocket in the anime more than anything else. I am running out of things to say about it, so let's move on. Uwe's third Pokemon will be Sable. Now that's an interesting one. While Sable got more use, I think, when it got its Gen 6 Mega, it could still be a difficult Pokemon to deal with since it had zero weaknesses at the time. But once the ability Mold Breaker came along, that changed. Its stats are kinda mixed all things considered. Its attack, defense, and special stats are definitely acceptable, but HP and speed are kinda bad. For level up moves, it gets some good stab attacks in Feint Attack and Shadow Ball. For TMs, it's surprisingly diverse. There's a lot of variety here for coverage, so not too bad in my opinion. I've actually used a Sable in Gen 3, and it's performed fairly well. It's not the strongest ever, but it can be tricky for the unprepared. Uwe's fourth Pokemon will be Slacking. Okay, Uwe technically didn't get a legendary, but Slacking might as well be one. The only thing holding it back is its Truant ability. If it didn't have that, it would be one of the most broken Pokemon in existence. Its stats are bonkers. Some legendaries can't brag about having these numbers. Even Mega Kangaskhan, which MJTV has a particular dislike for, doesn't have a base stat total like this. For level up moves, there's a real lack of actual attacks. Keeping it as a Vigoroth will at least get its Slash and Uproar. For TMs, no comment is needed. So Uwe was insanely lucky to get this absolute powerhouse. There's a reason Norman is labeled as the toughest Hoenn gym leader, and it's all thanks to this loafing primate. Uwe's fifth Pokemon will be Donphan. That's pretty good too. Donphan's a good ground type, if a bit limited. It has excellent physical stats. It'll hit like a truck. For level up moves, it's the same problem as in Gen 2. It does not get a stab move until very late, which does hinder it a bit. For TMs, it's also limited. If it was able to learn Dig somehow, it would definitely help. So Donphan is definitely a strong Pokemon to have, but the lack of early available stab moves really lets it down. And Uwe's last Pokemon will be Armaldo. Nice! Uwe gets a fossil Pokemon, and a fairly good one at that. Armaldo's definitely a Pokemon you should be careful around. It has terrific stats all around, except for speed obviously, and that 125 physical attack will cause major damage. For level up moves, it gets some pretty good attacks, including Ancient Power with its potential to boost all its stats. For TMs, it's pretty good. There are some nice attacks here. So a very good way to end this team. Armaldo's definitely a fossil Pokemon you should keep on your radar. And that's it for Uwe's Gen 3 team. A pretty disappointing start to be honest, but picked up considerably. At least half this team is super powerful. If Uwe took an interest in battling, which I think we can all agree she most likely wouldn't, she might do well with this lot. As always, please rate, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Feel free to come join me on Discord. Consider backing me on Patreon. And remember to stay chilled.